Okay, now we're going to show you one of the coolest features on the gun, and that is the barrel removal. So let's move backwards just a little bit towards the handle. You might be noticing this lever, and all you got to do is grab hold of the handle, put a little pressure, it's spring-loaded, it pops right out, and voila, you now have separation of the hop-up unit and basically everything else. Very convenient if you have a jam, if you just want to clean, or if you want to swap out the barrels. I mean, this is really quite a useful tool. We prefer to do this infrequently because most of the time, we don't have jams, and it can mess up your barrel. It can theoretically bend it, or it can throw your hop-up adjustment off a little bit, whatever. Separation of the inner barrel from the outer barrel is a snap. You just pull it out carefully, and there you go. I mean, it's a pretty run-of-the-mill inner barrel. Has a little spacer there to keep it properly centered, and of course the spring which helped push it out. And this is the entire hop-up unit here. And as you can see, it's compact and simple. So if you do need to swap it out for a different unit, I mean, it is all metal, but if you want to use an improved hop-up bucking or something, it would be easy swap out. And the inner barrel, we're going to try to get you a view on the inside. It might be difficult, but I don't know if you can see that for the camera or not. You can see it's nothing fancy. It's pretty cool to look at. But there you have it. Now putting this back in, let's first show you the insides here. I'm going to turn the gun around. You can see where the air piston actually and the nozzle meet inside. And inside there, you'll see a small notch, hopefully. That notch is what lines up the hop-up unit and the barrel on the inside. So now we're going to replace everything. We find that putting the inner barrel in first is probably the best way to go. Remember I mentioned that notch just a second ago, and you'll see on here that's where this notch goes. It can only be fit in one way, so it's more or less idiot-proof, and for the most part, airsofters are pretty smart people, but it doesn't hurt to have a little bit of insurance. Then you're going to want to replace the outer barrel, and be careful. You're going to want to be gentle when you're putting this thing in, because there are some portions that require you to torque the outer barrel up a little bit. You want to avoid putting as much torque on things as possible. You don't want to bend anything. Putting things back in, you're going to want to align this front piece here, and then just simply apply pressure until you hear it click. Once you hear it click, just let go, and you're in business. You're back ready to play. Now while I've got it on this side, I want to finish up by showing you the charging handle. We all like to play with charging handles, and in this case you pretty much can, because it's not going to hurt anything. Snap it as much as you want. This portion here serves no functional purpose for airsoft, as far as we can tell. But one thing to watch out for is when you have this receiver up, I don't know if you saw that, I'm going to do it again. When you open the receiver, now watch the charging handle closely. If you see right there, the charging handle moves forward by about 1/4 of an inch, a little less, and when it does that, it does not allow the receiver to close. So if you for some reason find you can't close your receiver, don't jam it. Just pull the charging handle back 1/2 inch, let it rest. If you do, you might end up bending something, and it's really not a big deal. On this side, of course, you can see the other side of the safety, and like we said earlier in the review, it's pretty straightforward and pretty simple. So there you have it. Those are the features of the new A&K M249. All in all, an excellent airsoft gun. And at $250, Airsplat was kind enough to supply us with this model. It's an excellent buy. We haven't had this much fun with an airsoft gun in a long time, and the intimidation factor alone is worth it in our opinion. When we brought this thing on the field, the other side was groaning. And even though, functionally, it's identical to virtually any other airsoft gun, it really owned the field. The rate of fire is slightly higher than average at about 16 BBs per second, and the drum magazine just allows you to just take positions. I mean, there were so many situations where we had people swapping out magazines, and I was still storming position, or whoever was using this was just mowing them down. And anytime someone with this gun got hit, a collective cheer went up from the other side. So if you want a gun that's going to stand out, a gun that's going to give you, even if you don't maybe deserve it, I mean some of us do, some of us don't, you're going to get respect by having this thing, because it is a fearsome contender as far as airsoft goes. It's all metal. It feels like a massive, I mean, just holding it gives you an ego boost, and we like that a lot. There were some minor complaints, like we said. The foregrip really could use some retooling if A&K decides to release another model. We would strongly recommend and hope they might maybe make that a bit more sturdy. Of course, the chamber in the bottom portion of the handle, the grip, is not a big deal, but it does flop open. So again, a little bit of tape, a little set screw, whatever, quick fix. This has been an Airsoft Reports presentation. Thanks for watching. To all of you Central Florida airsofters, we want to send out an open invitation. We operate out of the Orlando area, and if you want to get a skirmish together, or if you'd just like to come by and see the operation sometime, send us an email and we'll see what we can do. Have a good one.